Okay, so we're diving into Peterborough City Council today.
All right.
They're in a real financial mess.
Huh?
Actually, they're on the verge of bankruptcy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And there's this feeling among people like residents that the council just can't handle it.
Right.
So we're looking at Dennis Jones's column.
Okay.
Our mission is to break it down.
Yeah.
Not just what he's saying,
Mm-hmm.
but why he might be saying it now, in this situation.
Right. Yeah. With all this going on.
Exactly.
What gets me is how Jones tries to spin things positive.
Yeah.
Despite this whole financial disaster thing.
Yeah.
He talks a lot about the council's work with kids and care.
Oh, interesting.
It feels deliberate, you know?
Yeah, like a feel-good story almost.
Right.
But is it genuine or is it a distraction?
Exactly.
He even mentions improving that local offer program
Right.
after Ofsted criticized it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It could be them responding to criticism, which is good, right?
Right.
But you have to wonder, is it a tactic to shift focus away from the bankruptcy?
Right.
Is it genuine improvement
Right.
or just good press amidst the chaos?
It makes you think.
It really does.
Then there's this contrast
Yeah.
between the Christmas stuff he talks about
Mm.
and the financial reality.
Right.
Twinkling lights, celebrities at the Christmas switch on
Yeah.
while saying tough decisions are coming.
It's strange, isn't it?
It is a bit.
Is it to project normalcy?
Maybe?
Boost morale, during a tough time?
Yeah.
Or is it downplaying how serious things are?
Like saying everything's fine, let's party.
Exactly.
He even jokes about performing at the Christmas event.
Really?
The Lion and Albert
Mm.
seems a bit out of touch,
It does a bit, yeah.
given the circumstances.
Yeah, residents facing cuts might not find it funny,
Right.
especially from the leader supposed to be helping them.
Exactly.
Humor can be powerful, but this might be tone deaf.
Yeah, I agree.
Then there's the careers fair,
Oh, yeah.
promoting jobs.
While they have a hiring freeze?
Doesn't really add up, does it?
Not really.
Jones says they need to fill roles
Right.
and, raise awareness for the future.
But is it really about that?
Yeah,
Or is it more about looking good?
yeah. Is it to project stability while facing collapse?
Makes you question their priorities.
It does.
Are they fixing the problem
Mm-hmm.
or managing how things look?
Because let's face it,
Yeah.
recruiting during a crisis
Right.
might look better than the truth.
Then being unable to hire.
Exactly.
So it's all about image.
It seems that way.
And this leads to the shaping our city thing.
Right, the consultation.
Yeah, I talk about difficult decisions ahead.
It's like prepping the public for cuts.
You think so?
I do. It's strategic.
How so?
By saying tough choices are needed, they're managing expectations.
Oh, I see.
It could be seen as sharing the burden, too.
Like we're all in this together?
Exactly, and we need to sacrifice.
But how will those decisions impact people?
That's the big question.
And will the public accept them as necessary?
Or will it make people trust the council even less?
Good point.
It's something to think about, for sure. This consultation, though,
Yeah.
it's framed as transparency,
Right.
engaging the public.
Mm-hmm.
But it could also be deflecting criticism.
Oh, I'll tell.
By involving people in the decisions,
Mm-hmm.
they might soften the blowback.
When those cuts happen.
Exactly.
But is it genuine engagement?
That's the thing.
Or a PR campaign?
To make cuts easier to swallow.
Yeah.
It's hard to know for sure.
Right.
And that's where the public skepticism comes in.
Because...
They've seen it before, right?
Yeah.
Promises and then decisions that ignore them.
So even if shaping our city is genuine,
It's understandable why people are cynical.
especially when Jones mentions a £220 million budget.
Right.
For
It's
their
that
services
reason.
makes you wonder how they're near bankruptcy.
With that much money.
Exactly. That's the question, isn't it?
It is.
Maybe there are deeper issues.
Like what?
Mismanagement, maybe
Mhm.
overspending on projects that flopped.
Or thinking they'd get more revenue.
We don't have the detailed financials.
We don't.
But that difference between the budget and the crisis,
It's a red flag.
totally. It's like a puzzle that doesn't fit.
Yeah.
Big budget, but near bankruptcy.
No wonder people doubt the council.
And this lack of transparency.
It fuels the disillusionment.
How so?
Residents don't know how money is spent
Yeah.
or why they're in this mess.
It's natural to lose faith then.
It
It's
is.
a cycle, isn't it?
It is a dangerous one.
The council seems questionable,
Mm-hmm.
not transparent.
And that leads to,
Less trust
right. And then when they need that trust,
to handle a crisis.
it's gone.
Exactly. Trust is crucial for any government.
Especially during tough times.
Without it, good intentions don't matter.
People resist. They're skeptical.
So Peterborough residents are in a tough spot.
They are.
Potential collapse of their council.
Yeah,
cuts to essential services,
possibly.
and a feeling that the council can't fix it.
That's a lot to deal with.
It is, and the council, trying to look good,
Mm-hmm.
might be making things worse.
It might.
It could look like they don't get it.
Right, like they're out of touch.
Or even worse,
Yeah,
trying to downplay people's concerns.
the people they're supposed to represent.
So where do they go from here?
That's the big question.
How do they deal with this crisis?
Yeah.
And even more importantly,
Yeah.
how do they rebuild trust?
It's a challenge for sure.
They need to balance action with honesty.
Right. And engage with the public.
They need to admit mistakes
Be honest about what's coming.
and involve residents in finding solutions.
It's a lot to ask, but
Yeah.
Peterborough's future might depend on it.
On finding that balance.
Exactly. It comes down to leadership, you
Yeah.
know?
Showing real leadership.
Not just making tough choices,
Mhm.
but talking about them honestly,
Yeah.
with empathy for the people affected.
Because right now it feels like a gap.
A gap between,
The council and the community.
like they're in a bubble,
Yeah.
detached from real life.
And that creates mistrust.
It does when people feel unheard,
Like their concerns don't matter.
they won't cooperate.
And they won't believe the council can fix this.
Right.
So what would good leadership look like here?
Well, they need to go beyond the talking points
Yeah.
and have real conversations,
with residents.
not just announcing decisions,
Mm.
but listening to worries, explaining their reasoning.
It's about showing they're human.
Yeah, admitting they don't have all the answers.
Being open to input.
Moving away from top down.
Towards a more collaborative approach.
Because Peterborough's future,
Yeah.
it depends on everyone working together.
The council needs to be responsible, of course,
Yes. But residents need to feel empowered too.
to help shape their city.
Exactly. It's about sharing responsibility.
We're all in this together.
And that includes us watching this unfold.
Yeah, staying informed.
Engaging in local issues.
Holding those in power accountable.
That's what it means to be a citizen.
Because we have the power in a democracy.
We-
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
On Peterborough City Council,
we ask you, what role will you play?
will you just watch?
Or will you help shape your community?
Your city, your life.
The choice is yours.